Lord. I said, if you take it out of context, there's only a few of us men here today, so we take the word for what God has intended it to be. However, the command of submission of the wife to her own husband doesn't suggest inequality to men, for Christ himself was in submission to the Father, but he was also equal to him. Therefore, the relationship between the husband and wife is one that is governed by unselfish love, where both of the partners meet the needs of each other. Amen. And in order for this to happen, it will require you to give up some things. You're going to have to give up some pride. You're going to have to give up some selfish ambition. You're going to have to give up some of them friends that are just dragging you down. You're going to have to give up some unfaithfulness. Paul is looking at this from the perspective that if the head of the woman is the man and the head of the church is Christ, then it is acceptable to draw an analogy between the wife's relationship to her husband and the church's relationship with Christ. And when marriage is seen in the light of this higher relationship between Christ and his body, then the wife finds no difficulty in submitting to her husband, because he also has an obligation to her. 1 Peter 3:7 says, husbands, likewise dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered. My study Bible explains it like this. Husbands, you must live with your wives in an understanding manner. Amen. Because God has created women a little different from men. And a husband is to honor his wife and to love her. And if he does not treat his wife properly, then his prayers to God will be blocked. And when we look at it from Christ's perspective, we come to understand that there is no limit to what we must give up. For heaven has done all that it can. John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave. John 10:11 says, Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for his sheep. And at Calvary, according to Mark 15:37, Jesus did just as he promised. He cried out with a loud voice, and he gave up the ghost. Yes. Folks, tonight, what will you give up for heaven? Yes. We know from Scripture that a liar and a thief will not tarry. Right. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 6:9 and 10 that don't be deceived. Don't fool yourself that you can trick God and you can slip and slide your way right into heaven. It ain't work out for you. But it tells you that to be sexually immoral, you ain't going to make it in. It tells you that idolaters won't make it in. It tells you that adulterers will not make it in. Men who practice homosexuality will not make it in. The greedy, the drunkards, the revelers will not make it in. Swindlers will not make it in. You're going to have to give up something to get into heaven. Amen. Today, my thought to you is, what will you give up to make it into heaven? Amen. Amen. Amen.